If there's one thing I've learned about health, it's that the hardest part isn't knowing what to do, it's actually doing it, right? I definitely don't have it all figured out, but I do know one thing. Taking care of yourself is hard. Temptation is everywhere, and transformation, frankly, takes effort. I've struggled with all of it: bad habits, unhealthy eating cycles, and constantly needing to resist the pull of the things that aren't good for me. But over time, I started understanding my body in a way I never had before. In this episode, I'm sharing a part of my journey, the mistakes, the lessons, and the things that actually helped me. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that navigating Earth School is a whole lot easier when you start paying attention to yourself. I didn't feel well physically for a good chunk of my life. I was sick with all sorts of ailments when I was younger. And the viciness side of my personality didn't help things either. I loved junk food. I was completely addicted to fast food for many years. There were times where I couldn't decide between two fast food joints, so I'd go through both drive-thrus. It's crazy to think about that today. I thought healthy eating was 0-calorie butter and lean cuisines. When I would get blood work done, it often looked really bad. I would also get sick all the time. I was plagued with headaches often. There were times where I was also completely emotionally unstable. I entered my first rehab for alcohol by age 20 before I could even legally drink. It didn't stick. I wouldn't get sober for another 12 more years. I was able to drink like a normal college student while in college, but things really escalated quickly after college. That's when the heavy pill use entered the picture along with alcohol. By this time, I wasn't looking very good. I mean, face sunken in, bruised up. I would get these bruises all over me all of the time from malnourishment, to the point where I would have to wear long sleeve tops in very hot Southern California temperatures. I would spend the next many years of my life swimming in addiction that escalated over time until about age 32. For those of you who know me personally know that I love animals. So when I was about 19 years old, I got this dog named Rex, and I loved this dog. He was my little backpack. He went everywhere with me. Well, eventually Rex got older, right? There was a point where he wasn't doing very well. I took him into the vet, and the vet just told me he was getting old. There wasn't really anything wrong with him. He was just coming towards the end of his life. Needless to say, I did not love that answer. I mean, I loved this dog. So after this vet visit, I went home and did a bunch of research on ways I could potentially extend his life. Somehow, some way, I found content that said food could help. Food. Now, some of you may laugh, but this was the first time I was hearing this concept, healing through food. Well, I started homemaking his dog food, and his health drastically improved. Now, keep in mind, I was young, and prior to homemaking his dog food, I was feeding him kind of cheap grocery store dog food. So Rex went from cheap grocery store dog food to liver meat with vegetables and pumpkin. I'd put all sorts of things in his dog food, and his health drastically improved. That dog lived vitally for many, many, many more years. This led me to think, if food could change Rex's health, then could it change my health as well? Now, keep in mind, I was still an addict at this time, so this is all kind of ironic. However, at an early age, I started studying how to use food as medicine. Even when I didn't follow it very well, even when I was a huge addict, I still started studying this stuff. I oftentimes learn something intellectually before I'm able to do it. I often joke that I understand lots of things intellectually. That doesn't mean that I necessarily do them well, right? And I'm very careful about that. On this channel, I only speak about things that I truly put into practice. I never speak about things that I only understand intellectually, but I cannot bring into practice. I make sure I can walk the talk before I talk. Knowledge is just a rumor until it lives in your body. True understanding comes from experience. With that being said, still, for me personally, oftentimes the first step in me learning something is to understand it intellectually before putting it into practice. So here I am at one point in my life swimming in addiction, but studying how to use food as medicine. Slowly, I started being able to implement and experiment with these things that I was learning, but it wasn't easy for me. I'm a sober addict. You think giving up something like sugar for a period of time was easy for someone like me? Do you think giving up soda or fast food was easy for me? I say that I'm 6 years sober from fast food because I have not had it in that long and it was that addictive for me. My point is, it wasn't easy, but I started slowly and built healthier habits over time. Let's take my soda addiction, for example. The way I slowly weaned myself off of soda is I started with no more buying soda at home, but I can have it when I go out to eat at restaurants or when I'm at someone else's house. Then after a period of time, I cut out the restaurants and it just turned into I would only have soda when I was at someone else's house for like a party or an event. It would be like a special treat since I didn't drink. I slowly changed habits like that while doing other things to help me combat cravings for the thing that I was giving up. For example, when I was craving a sugary beverage, I would create alternative drinks that would satisfy this craving. Have you ever had pineapple juice? Like the real pineapple juice? It's so good and it's really sweet. I used to get real pineapple juice and I would buy these glass bottles of sparkling spring water. I would take a large splash of pineapple juice and mix it with this sparkling spring water for an awesome carbonated beverage. It was also sweet. Sometimes I would even make it fancy, like I would add some mint to it or a couple squirts of my rose glycerin. This really helped me wean myself off something like soda. And actually, I've mentioned that this method that I've used to many other people, and it has helped them get off soda. So my point is that I would do these little things that would slowly improve my habits over time. The way I see it, Earthlings have a physical avatar that needs attending to, and the best person to figure out how to care for ourselves is ourselves. This is not to discount professionals. By all means, I have teachers and mentors and doctors who I go to when needed, but that does not mean I do not make a conscious effort to track my own patterns and pay attention to what my body needs. Those who are able to better understand the needs of their own bodies are going to have a much easier time navigating Earth School. You will hold a much more powerful position. Here's the hard part. Mainstream culture is out to tempt you. I don't need to name the temptation. Everyone watching this channel is aware of the temptations in our society that try to coax us in. So part of learning how to care for oneself on a variety of levels is also going to come with having to resist temptation. Now, some of us have an easier time doing that than others. For me, it's very difficult. Every single person who knows me personally in my life will tell you that I work really hard. Does not mean that I am perfect, but I work really hard. And understanding how to care for my body has made me feel better physically in my avatar, obviously, which made me better able to accomplish other goals, maybe in the mental, emotional, and spiritual realm. For me, feeling better physically allowed me to regulate those other areas better because the body is a symphony. It is also an ever-flowering process, getting to know what my body needs, because my body's needs are always changing. You don't have to be a perfectly healthy person to start understanding the needs of your body physically. Try and understand these needs even if you aren't able to do it very well at first. Remember, I started studying how to use food as medicine when I was an addict. The most unhealthy time of my life, I was studying this stuff. Studying something ahead of time never hurts because one day you might just start to implement some of the things that you once learned about that you could never do, but now find that you were doing it. Have a good week.